We are approaching that time of year again. A time of great exhilaration, a time of great pleasure, a time of great fear. The darker sides of all crave that latter delight from themselves, but even more so from others. To satiate that hunger, our dark selves take note, interest, and entertainment in tales of the macabre that appeal to our deepest fears as only mortals face. The only way to achieve this is to begin the dark ritual where Nerdporial and a special guest will discuss a particular tale during this season to ward off pure evil, as well as to entertain and to educate. I humbly welcome you to the Serial Horror Chat. Well, another serial horror chat, and I just crafted this little opening just like a few minutes ago. So, what do you think? Did it set the tone?
Yeah, it was kick ass. I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it. I'll be honest. I mean, this is my first time seeing Prince of Darkness, and that soundtrack. Wow, that is like one of Carpenter's best. Like, I'm surprised.
Right? Like
Yeah,
it's that like that score in that movie does not get praised as much as it should. Like I
no,
remember seeing this movie the first time and I'm like, "Holy shit, this is like I like it almost as much as his score for Halloween, honestly. Like it's that good."
it's like it's always present. It's like it's always looming. It's always present. Like every scene, like you hear it, and it's like to me when I hear it, it's like the devil, or in this case, the Prince of Darkness. The title is present and is plotting or something. At least that's how I interpret it as as a viewer. So, but yeah. So once again, everybody, welcome to this is my second Nerporial serial horror chat, and today we will be talking about the underrated John Carpenter 1987 film, The Prince of Darkness. And I'll be honest, I was expecting this to be totally. I was expecting this to be totally a supernatural, it's kind of like in the vein of The Exorcist. Nope. If it kind of appealed to a little bit of my Star Trek fandom, because the stuff that they go into in this movie is almost as science fiction as it is supernatural. Carpenter wrote the movie under a pseudonym, and he basically took the supernatural elements and somehow converted them into something science fiction. And I was laughing when I heard some of the stuff that they revealed in the movie yesterday. So, but yeah, it was because of Runner, because of our conversation, and because we were showing off our 4K Blu-rays. You showing off that made me want to go see Prince of Darkness, and wanted to do a stream. Hence why I wanted to have you be the one to talk about this with me. So, welcome, Runner. How you doing?
Well, this is one of my few like days off of work and school at the same time, so that was nice, but like having to like do all the work and stuff was kind of tough. So I'm glad to be doing this stream as like kind of like a relaxation towards that. So thank you for having me on. And yes, you're right. This is definitely one of Carpenter's more underrated movies. I love it a lot. This is the second time I've seen it. I just watched it before this stream so I can like have a recap and all that, and it is damn good.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed, and I know we talked about it, like they call this the second movie in the Apocalypse trilogy, and I believe
Yeah,
Carpenter
the
himself
Apocalypse.
coined the term. And of course, the first movie was The Thing.
The
So
Thing. So
the
this is the second movie of the Apocalypse trilogy, and then the third one is In the Mouth of Madness.
okay, and you hear Sam Neill in everybody's video. They always, whenever somebody you need to hear a scream, a shocking scream. Everybody, like Critical Drinker, puts in Sam Neill's scream from In the Mouth of Madness. So,
Yeah,
and I heard
it's
that again
the scene.
today.
It's the scene where What, did you watch, like, a video of his and he put the
Yeah, he
scream
came out
in?
with he did another video. It was about the Little Mermaid. So
Oh, I got a notification for that. I think it was called, like, Stop Doing Remakes or something like that, something in that vein. Did
yeah,
he put that scream in the
I think that screams in like all of his videos. Like every time
Really?
something,
I
yeah,
I feel like I feel like it's not in enough videos, but that's just me, 'cause I like watching his stuff, but I'll need to watch it, but it's the scream where he's in the bus, right?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have. That's another one I gotta see soon. Now I have to see In the Mouth of Madness. So, but
That one's good. That one's good. I don't actually like that one as much as most people. Like, some people like that movie more than Prince of Darkness, and I enjoyed Prince of Darkness more. I guess, maybe that's just me. Like, it's
I
probably
love
one of
the.
my like, was In the Mouth of Man is probably one of my least favorite Carpenter films. Like, I preferred Vampires more than In the Mouth of Madness. Vampires is really fucking good if you haven't seen
Okay,
that.
I did see Vampires with James Woods. I did see that one.
And,
And
Terry Silver.
you know who plays the Dracula? Yeah, you replace the main vampire, Terry
Mhm.
Silver,
Yeah, he's
Thomas
fucking
Ian
he
Griffith.
he's so
I was
fucking
like, where
good
have
in
I
that
seen
movie.
him before? I'm like, why is he like that's him? That is him. So, but there's a few things I saw that kind of connected to the thing. Obviously, this movie is science fiction. There's more science fiction than supernatural. Like all the supernatural elements have been converted to science fiction, and just the idea of the the villain or the creature or the evil in this movie is without form. I mean, I mean, in this movie, it's a green liquid, but like we don't know the actual form of the villain, and it's the same as the it's almost the same as what do you call it in the thing, where we don't know what the thing actually looks like because it copies all the other
Yeah.
creatures. It copies any creature it gets into contact with. So you kind of wonder what this creature originally looked like, what its identity was, and it's kind of the same with this, where it spreads. It shoots liquid out of its it possesses people by having them shoot liquid out of their mouths. Made me
Yeah.
think of the Stooges a little bit because that's like open their mouth and and then you see a uh, I can't think of it. The liquid gets forced shot out, kind of like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
So
like, it, like, splashes into someone, and that
yeah,
kind of affects them. It's,
and the fact
yeah.
that it landed in someone's mouth when they had their mouth open just was another Stooges moment. Like oh, and then they were just all like going crazy right away. But it was that same
Yeah.
idea that it was the same idea with the thing. But the thing I think the thing what did better was we didn't know exactly how it took possession or when people changed or when they got it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point, cause like, one of the best things about that movie is, like, it's a mystery too, like that scene with the blood test thing, it's like they don't know who's affected or whatnot, but with this movie, as much as I like it, like, you basically know who's affected. You
Yes,
know?
absolutely.
That doesn't take away how good the movie is, though. Like,
No,
it's good, but,
I-
um
I'll say this when the character when I was taking notes and I was writing down like who is who, I didn't know the character's name, so I kept calling like Donald Pleasance. I just kept calling him Donald Pleasance because he didn't have a name, and then we get to the end of the movie and he still didn't have a name. He was just on its credits. He was just listed as priest. That's it. We don't know his name.
oh, yeah,
Um,
that's true, I didn't think about that.
yeah. Then there's Mustache Guy. There's Mustache Guy. There's Richard Gere guy. There's guy with with more um, darker skin. I'm not going to say what. Uh, there's Redhead. There's Blondie. There's everybody. I didn't know any of their names until the girl with the glasses, the first one who's infected, and that's a spoiler alert, by the way. I don't even remember what her name was, but she was the first one infected, and the shots that they showed of her kind of lurking about, you could tell like one thing I learned, one thing I noticed in John Carpenter movies is he reused the same imagery from other movies. So like there were moments of Halloween when the woman, the possessed woman, just kind of strides into the camera from her back, and then they're talking to her, and she's just staring blankly at them. Made me think of Michael Myers in the distance. Them trying to call him, and he's just walks behind the bush and everything.
Yeah, even when like Michael Myers is just like standing still, like
Yeah,
you see a lot of that in this movie. And was it Dennis Dunn, like the little Asian guy in the movie who was in Big Trouble in Little China? His character's name is Walter. I'm looking this up on IMDb right now. But like that dude is funny as fuck in this movie.
yes, he is. And not
Um
only that, this movie felt like a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China.
it really
China. I
does
was like,
it really does cuz like well, it's weird cuz like you know how like he says that he's got a date with someone or whatnot, like
yeah.
it's almost as if this is like a prequel to Big Trouble in Little China,
I
because
think
he,
this
because
came
he,
out
because
right after that. I think that came out first, and
yeah,
then this movie came out right after that.
yeah. I was gonna say like because John Carpenter made this movie right after he did Big Trouble, and he got like two of the same cast members back, Dennis Dunn and Victor Wong.
I was wondering if the chick, the woman that was doing all the translating, I was wondering if she was in Big Trouble.
The oh the one in
Lisa,
this
or
movie.
Lisa's her name. She was the second one. She was the one that was possessed. Like what's her name? Was crawling on her bed and then just shot her with the liquid too. And it
No,
was her. It was what was her name again? Okay, so
are you talking about Catherine?
oh no, Catherine's the redhead. So
Yeah, Catherine's.
Susan was the one, the first one that's infected, or is infected by the devil. And
Yeah.
then we have Kelly. Kelly's the blonde. Kelly's the blonde who gets
Mhm.
who is in my thumbnail. I'll just say that. And Lisa is the translator. So Lisa's the translator. They find the text, and she's the one that's translating it. And it's been like written over several times, so it's a difficult task to do. So,
Yeah.
uh, but I mean, once again, I my thoughts were that this movie was very John Carpenter. The soundtrack is very 1980s, very him. And I'll be honest, like the green liquid that was used in Stranger Things season 3. Have you seen Stranger Things season 3?
I've seen all seasons. I don't remember 3 very much.
There's a
Only
when they go into the Russian base under the mall, they have like big containers of green liquid that they just pass by. I think it was an Easter egg nodding to this movie now that I think about it.
You think so? I
I think
didn't.
so. I mean, I'll have to double check, but I think I'm like, what is this green liquid? What is this green liquid that they had in there? Because they just passed by it. They didn't really comment on it. It was just, I think it was just there's an Easter egg, a nod to this movie. So I'm just saying. So but yes, are you ready to go into the meat of the movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let me get this. Let me share my screen really quickly. Sorry. Okay. So the movie opens. First thing we see this old guy in the bed, and he is more or less dying, or he dies. And he's clutching on his chest. He's clutching this little treasure. It looks like a little treasure. It looks like a little treasure chest or something to,
Mhm.
something to keep something important at all times. Well, in this case, he has like one of those. He has a Legend of Zelda looking key in this chest, and this key opens, let's just say this key opens the basement of a monastery that Donald Pleasance basically is like running his how would I say it? He's kind of taken over. I don't even know exactly what Donald Pleasance's relationship with that old priest was, but he basically found his journal and that talks about this, about where this key is supposed to go. He finds the monastery. He learns exactly who this priest was and what he was trying to do. So apparently, this priest was from an order of from an order, a deep secret order called the Order of Whisper, or not the Order of Sleep, I believe is what they're called, the Brotherhood of Sleep. And apparently, they are so secretive to the point that even the Vatican don't, are even the Vatican themselves aren't even aware of their existence. At least that's what the movie says. And Donald Pleasance is freaking out about this new discovery, and he's talking to these other cardinals right here to get an idea of a course of action in order to figure out what this means. And then we meet Professor, what is his name again? Professor Howard Barak. So he is a physicist. He's like a physics professor. I don't know the college, but he's
I don't
teaching.
think I don't think I don't think it says which college it is, does it?
It's definitely California, so I'll just assume it's UCLA. I'll just assume it's
Oh,
UCLA.
all right. Fair enough.
So he's talking about the nature of time, the nature. What does he say? But yeah, the Big Trouble. Yeah, I said Big Trouble. Yeah, the guy from dude from Big Trouble in Little China walking, and of course he looks up, sees the moon and the sun aligned, which I guess is a bad omen. Here um, we have Professor Barak. He's talking about the nature of time and how time is. I'm trying to look where I wrote it. Where did I write this? DP. No, 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 no. Mustache. Red. Blah, blah, blah. Talking about time, and then of course we see the hero. I say the hero. I called what's his name, Dennis Dunn, the hero, because he was the hero in Big Trouble. Uh, yeah, they're just basically talking about classical reality, the nature of classical reality. And of course, then Donald Pleasance, let me see right here, visits this rundown monastery right here. And as a result of the key that he acquired from this chest right here, he finds this ancient door, and proceeds to go down in this ancient door. And of course, it cuts between the students. Of course, this mustache right there. His name is Brian, and he's attracted to what's her name again? Catherine, the redhead.
Redhead. Yeah, the redhead. Catherine.
There we have him again talking about more stuff, and where is? I'm trying to find where is. All right, excuse me one sec.
Hey everyone, I guess it's just me talking. Oh, never mind.
Sorry, people are making noise in my house.
All right,
All right,
I
so
understand.
he's typing a letter to right here. He's typing a letter to the professor dude, the old dude from Big Trouble, and he needs his help. Apparently, he doesn't understand the nature of this discovery that he's made. Where is the stupid? Where is the stupid? I'm trying to find it. Where's the green liquid?
You trying to find it from the beginning, or
Yeah,
just?
I guess we don't see it until he
I
shows
was
it
gonna,
to him.
I was gonna say, I feel like we don't know until like later, later on after this.
Okay, yeah, this is where he goes into the whole nature of the
Okay,
conspiracy right
I was
here.
gonna say it probably starts when Donald Pleasance and Victor Wong like move into the cave part or whatever
Yes.
that he discovered. Like I think that's when we see it for the first time because like there are later shots where like you can see like the camera is like reversed and the water is like going up.
Yeah.
Like gravity is like completely reversed. So that just tells you like, hey, like this shit ain't normal.
No, I guess it ain't. Yeah, it doesn't appeal to the laws. It doesn't appeal to the laws of physics. So obviously, gravity's in gravity's out of the. I don't know. Gravity's just doesn't play a factor. Um, so he brings the professor to the building, and we find out that the old priest used to live there. Used to live in this place for decades, kind of as a guardian. They call him his. He's called a guardian priest, and they go down. And of course, the place was built in the 1500s. Once again, by the Brotherhood of Sleep, they took a vow of silence. The Holy See wasn't aware of their existence, and this was just meant to be passed down from priest to priest to priest. So now Donald Pleasance now has the responsibility of dealing with this discovery right here. And let's see if I can find it. So here it is. So this is the chapel, and in the center is this green container, this large green container. And we find out that this large green container is carrying something evil, something something that has enormous power, something that just has enormous power and influence, and is getting is just starting to reshape things. Things are changing because of this. So um, yeah, I was like, what? I'm like, what? Like, is this supposed to be the Prince of Darkness himself? I was curious about this right here.
Oh, this thing up front.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I'm like, is that supposed to be just its dormant form? I'm like, what? Like, what I'm like, I'm curious where this idea came from. It makes me think of the ooze container from Ninja Turtles
Oh
Part Two,
yeah.
the live
I
action movie.
I Yeah, I mean just ooze overall because the ooze is also in like the cartoons and all that as well. But like yeah, I think that was the first thing that came up in my mind was like it looks like ooze from TMNT.
Yeah, and it's just
But
like they.
but but like the only difference I'd say is like if I were to like tell you the differences between the ooze and this liquid, it's like the ooze is like a lot more thick in like TMNT, but like this is like a
This
lot more
isn't viscous
liquidy.
at all. This is like water almost.
Exactly. It's a lot like a water-based type of liquid, and then like you have like ooze, which is basically like what do you call it? Like slime almost.
Yeah, yeah, slime. It's usually thicker. It doesn't flow. One thing I learned in fluid mechanics was the concept of viscosity, and things that are generally thicker usually have a higher viscosity. Um, Things that have a lower viscosity flow easier. So, like water is something that has a lower viscosity, whereas you have something thick like a slime or an ooze has a higher viscosity. So, and usually it's I forget what in the 80s what they used to make all that stuff, but yeah, like they use gum or they use I have no idea. I'd have to research that, but so we find it. So they arrive in in this little chapel right here, and wow, it's stormy out here. We get this
Yeah,
nice cool.
I just heard some thunder from my area.
Yeah, it's really
Oh well,
I don't know. It's
well we
yellow outside from my room right here. It's crazy.
we live well, we live close to each other, so
Yeah,
it's not a surprise.
maybe it's because we're reviewing this movie. I don't know. So so one thing that we get is we get this book right here that they're looking at, and this book is like it's basically it's a text that it's written in Latin, but it's been written over and erased multiple times, so it's hard to decipher what it is. So one of the things that he needs is someone to decipher what's in this book right here. So he says a secret that can no longer be kept, a feeling. Then one month ago, a change in the earth, the sky, is power. So there's some foreboding going on here. So, and of course we find out they're basically they're talking, and we find out that the students here there's no class, but they have to give up their weekends to help the professor, you know, work on this project to figure out what the nature of this discovery is. So here you go. Um, so here we have we see Brian and we see Catherine. They're kind of flirting together. Of course, he says something that's deemed sexist. I didn't quite see it that way. I think he was just trying to be friendly. But then again, this
Yeah,
was the 80s.
yeah, me too. Like that part did kind of like throw me off. I was like, how? Like, how's that sexist?
Yeah, I couldn't like. I'll just say this: I could not like what ultimately happens to Catherine. I could not believe that happened. I'm still kind of it's still kind of with me it's still kind of
My
with me
my
now.
my guess is her saying that short line is basically like telling the audience like, hey, like this person like comes off as sensitive, I guess. That's my guess.
Yeah, probably. I mean, obviously she doesn't have. I mean, it seems like there was a point where he's looking at her and she comes out. She's walking outside with another dude. As I wasn't sure if she was with that dude or if she was just trying to flirt with her, and she was just like not really having any of it. So yeah, but these two are pretty much outside of Donald Pleasance and Victor Wong. These two are pretty much the main characters of the students. So yeah, so this is right here. Victor Wong is telling them, you know, hey, I can't tell you what this project is, but I need your expertise. So these are all physics students, and they hire a whole bunch. They bring in a whole bunch of other talent. Like there's a whole bunch of people. There's like biochemists, there's physicists, there's obviously that translator who Lisa, who was
Yeah.
who majored in like old theological um, language or scripts or scripture or something. I don't know exactly what that is, but yeah,
Some like history major type thing, right? Probably.
roughly. I'd have to look, but
Cause
here,
that takes a lot of like, I would think that that would take like a lot of like years and time to like do all that research just to like read all the different languages and stuff that she had to do. It's like,
mhm.
so yeah, I don't know which major that would be, honestly, now that I think about it.
Yeah, it'd have to be something in philology, maybe. I don't know. Latin is like, yeah, Latin's like a language that's almost dead. I mean, it practically is dead. So, but we hear this great quote. He's like, he lives in the atomic, the subatomic, the sum of the parts. Of course, we learn that the goal. This is what they get. The goal is to translate the book, and the professor needs to prove it scientifically to convince the outside world. What's funny is Victor Wong just says, you know what, maybe we should just, you know, keep it locked away. Nobody wants to hear this bullshit. Is pretty much what he says. And then we get a moment where they're setting up, and we start seeing like homeless people. Like we see homeless people just really. I don't know if we get the shot, but here's the shot of the one lady, the one homeless lady, and she looks like she's talking to nobody. But then we see like ants on her face. So we saw an image of worker ants just like going crazy earlier in the movie. Um, and I'm like, what is this supposed to signify? And then we see this right here, and I'll be honest, this was pretty creepy. Like this character, this homeless lady was pretty creepy. She reminded me of homeless pigeon lady from Home Alone 2, believe it or not.
Oh, you're not wrong. I didn't think about that.
So here's the alley. I'm curious if this is the same alley where they shot They Live with the wrestling match. And here we see all these homeless come out, and I'm like, hey, there's an Alice Cooper looking homeless guy, and then I realized that is Alice Cooper.
Oh, really?
That is him. Yeah, that's so he did a song for the movie, and so the moment that he kills the moment he does his kill, the guy that he kills, his victim, was listening to the song that he performed for this movie.
That's cool.
Yeah, he killed like some
Um,
nerdy looking dude.
And
Like I'll see if I can find it.
and your whole thing about the was it the what do you call it the alley or whatever from They Live? I feel like that alleyway or whatever you just showed is a lot smaller than the one in They Live because They Live had like that was like a lot more wide, I would say,
Yeah,
than this one because it needed to be wide enough for um Roddy Piper and Keith David to have their fight.
yeah. Which I think went on too long.
Yeah, I liked it though. I liked how long it was.
I did. I
And
liked it, but I did. It was. I felt it just got. It was like, okay, come on, let's get this done with.
I thought that too, but after rewatching it a few times, I'm like, I kind of like it. It's different. Like it's like you wanted to you think and there are parts in that movie where like you think the fight's gonna end, but it's like, oh no, it's not. But like I was still entertained the whole time. Plus, I think John Carpenter, like in an interview for that movie, was asked like if um if like he had like ideas to like cut like certain parts of that fight down, and his answer was fuck no.
Okay, yeah, okay, that sounds about right then. That sounds
So
about right.
he wanted the fight to be long because I think he wanted to like beat some other movie that had the longest fight. Like he wanted to break that record or something like that.
No, oh really? I didn't know that.
I forgot what movie it was, but like he wanted to like beat the world record for longest fight in a movie.
Yep, that's pretty much. Yeah, we'll get to this. We'll get to this. This is something that we learn later. We learn later in the movie. But yeah, exactly. It takes our idea, our perception of of religion, Christianity, Judaic religions, especially a lot of the stuff that is taught, and it just turns it. He turns it on its head into pure science fiction. And one thing John Carpenter was a big fan of was the movie Forbidden Planet. Forbidden Planet to a lot of people, and including me, is Star Trek before Star Trek even existed. Uh, so it just the idea of like mirror universes, antimatter based mirror universes, and everything. And even they even bring up tachyons in this movie. I'm like, geez, Louise. I'm like for a second I thought I was listening to a Star Trek. I thought I was listening to a Star Trek episode right here. So, um, but yeah, like once again, this turns it completely on its head. So right here on the screen, we see that they're unloading equipment. They're going to be doing a lot of work trying to figure out what this this ancient container is and what it's actually carrying. And it just gets crazy right here. We see that there's a lot more. So there's the students of Professor Barack, but then there's others. There's another professor, and he brings his students. And so these two guys on the right, those three other guys, besides Brian, are new characters that well, let's just say they need new characters to be meat bags. I'll say for the movie. And of course, we meet this guy right here. I forget what he does. I don't even
I
remember
don't
his name. I don't even remember
I don't
either of their
remember his
names.
name. He looks a lot like Justin Long though.
Justin Long with glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, he
That's
wasn't.
literally what he looks like.
Yeah, and he wasn't even supposed to stay. So the moment he leaves, all the homeless have the place completely surrounded, so nobody can leave in any situation. But when that guy tried to leave, Alice Cooper takes a unicycle and impales him with the unicycle of all things. So that's right here. Yeah, right here. There we go. So yeah, so he's basically victim number one. So I'm like, for a second, I was like, this. I didn't think this would be a slasher. I thought this would be more like a psychological type of movie. Kind of like I was thinking Exorcist. I was expecting this movie to be kind of like The Exorcist, but it kind of wasn't really. There wasn't a
I'm
whole
gonna
lot of psychological elements.
I'm gonna disappoint people when I say this. I still haven't seen The Exorcist. I need to though.
Wait, what?
I'm saying I'm gonna disappoint some people when I say this. I still haven't seen The Exorcist.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay, it's a great movie. It's
I know. I've heard people
it's
say it's one of the best like horror movies,
it,
but I haven't gotten the.
it's more psychological than anything else. There's a lot of imagery, interesting choice of imagery, very psychological. It's not a typical horror. It's not a typical horror movie. Like
I know.
there's not as many jump scares as you'd think in that movie. It was
Um.
done. It was done pretty. It was done pretty. It was done pretty well by William Friedkin, who did like he's Oscar-winning director. He did French Connection. He did the movie Sorcerer, which I recently saw, which is another movie that got swept under because of its budget and people just didn't go to see it in the late 70s because of Superman and Star Wars. So, um, but it was one. It was one of the. It was a good. It was a really good. It deserves its rating in my opinion. Great
Yeah.
acting, great
I don't think that.
setup.
Yeah. I don't think that movie's out on 4K. Let me check
I
real
don't think
quick.
so. I
'Cause,
don't think so either. I heard the
um.
Blu-ray wasn't that great. I was looking up reviews on it. I heard the Blu-ray wasn't that great. Didn't get great reviews.
Well, that
Like
sucks.
the transfer
Yeah,
didn't look good. So I'd have to double check that though. So
yeah, that sucks. Looks like Warner Brothers owns the rights to it, I think. So, and Warner Brothers has been doing pretty good with a lot of their 4Ks lately. So
yeah.
hopefully they can work on that movie and maybe I can buy it and watch it because I'm a good way to get me to watch a movie is like ones that like I've heard that are good and that are like available at like my Best Buy, let's say, and I'll buy it just to
Hmm.
watch it. Like that's how you get me to see a movie most of the time.
I agree.
Because like I know that's like an expensive way to do it because you're just spending money and all this shit. But you know, I like collecting. That
Hmm.
that's just a thing.
We got Gwagnar here. Well, what's up, Gwagnar? Says that Alice Cooper kill was adapted from a stage show. That I did not know. Very, very interesting. I had no idea. Had no idea. So back to the movie. So here, we get our first character gets killed, and what's weird is before he gets killed, he sees some disturbing imagery. He sees maybe it's, I don't know if it's back here. Come on, Windows. So he sees an image of a pigeon being crucified. Do you here it is right here. He
Yeah,
sees this, and then he sees people advancing on him, and then I was just like, whoa. I was like, what is this supposed to do? Is this supposed to scare him, or like what is this supposed to be like why even have this? So there you go. So what do you think of the pitch? And I thought that was kind of a surprise right here.
yeah. It's weird. Like I think you know that's obviously supposed to like it's supposed to symbolize something. Like I couldn't tell what it really was. Like there are times where like it. There are times where like I don't know. For what I'm looking at, it looks like Remy from Ratatouille, but wearing butterfly wings or some shit. Like that's what it
I have
looks
not
like.
seen. I'll be honest. I have a confession. I've never seen Ratatouille.
Ratatouille's fucking masterpiece. I don't care what anyone says.
Okay, I've heard nothing. I've heard nothing but positive stuff about that. So there you go.
Like was it the last physical media stream I was on Greg's channel Fanzine? Like we were talking about Pixar stuff because the big Criterion news that happened. Was it Criterion's doing a 4K for Wally?
Yeah.
And we were talking about Pixar movie because I brought one up. I brought up my Blu-ray of The Incredibles, which is probably my favorite Pixar movie, and I told him like my second would probably be like Ratatouille or something because and then Tom was like, "Oh, I find Ratatouille to be overrated." It's like I don't know, man. It's fucking masterpiece as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So, so here we find we get another scene. I think what's his name? Walter.
Walter,
Walter's
yeah.
watching, like he's actually watching he's actually watching a Tom and Jerry cartoon. I don't know if I can find it, but it's an episode I actually remember seeing when I was a kid. One where
I
Tom
do
falls all the way to
remember.
hell
Yeah, I do
and
remember
lands in a
seeing.
cauldron,
I
a
think I
boiling
remember
cauldron.
seeing that. Yeah, I think I remember seeing that one as a kid too, because Cartoon Network, back when Cartoon Network was awesome, they would like show like was it repeats of like certain like older cartoons like early in the morning.
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry was one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I remember they used to Tom and Jerry used to be on all the time when I was a kid. Like it was always on like in the mornings, weekday mornings, Sunday mornings. So I used to be home and watch them every day. So and that was one of those episodes. It's crazy just how
Yeah.
it's just crazy how like what we're seeing. I was like, is everybody going to be going to hell? What is that cartoon supposed to mean ultimately right here? So, but right here on the screen is really where stuff gets started. So there's that's what the hell's her name again? Her name is Susan. Okay, there's Susan, and I call this guy Baldy because I don't remember his name. Susan and Baldy are talking. I think he's trying to flirt with her. Blah blah blah. And yeah, so here we have. So they're trying. Like she's like the radiologist, I believe, and so she's taking X-rays of the container, and we actually learned quite a bit from her. We learned that it doesn't it can only be opened from the it only opens from the inside. So there's no way for them to open it from the outside, and that the container itself is 7 million years old. So it's crazy it's crazy when you think of it. Crazy when you think of it. seven
Yeah,
million years. That's way older than human civilization.
another crazy thing is like how would you like open or close it back up or whatnot? Like if it's like if it could only be like possible like inside, you would like imagine like someone just like those millions of years ago or whatever, like someone had to like close it, but they had to like go in the damn thing and risk their damn life.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be tough. But but real quick, I gotta grab something. I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. So here we they have a meeting, and this is where Lisa, the translator, tells us a bit about the history of this container. So we learned that this container was buried in the Middle East by the father of Satan. So in this world, in this movie, Satan has a dad. Satan has a father, and the father is a god who walked the earth before man, but was banished to the dark side. This is dialogue straight from the movie. And the son is buried inside the container, the son being Satan. Then we find out that Jesus Christ himself, was a humanoid extraterrestrial from another planet, and he got killed. He got killed for heresy because of his warning. So I'm listening to this and I was like, holy crap, this is not what I expected at all. So this cuts back to this cuts back to Susan right here, and she's like she's alone with this thing, and all of a sudden we get a few jump scares. Things are moving. Apparently, Satan or this thing has the ability to do psychokinesis, so it can move objects, can manipulate things, and we see that the liquid from the container drips upward. Like here, I'll see if I'll show a little bit of it right here. So it's dripping right here. It's dripping onto the ceiling. So I'm guessing they just flipped it upside down to create that effect, but whatever. But obviously, once again, the laws of physics, the laws of gravity don't apply to this being right here, this living liquid, I'll say. So so the liquid itself shoots a bit of it at Susan, causing her to basically retch and get like literally she it just how would I put it? She gags and she coughs and she reacts violently, and then she becomes a possessed zombie basically. See if I can find a good picture of her. Okay, no. So we go back to the here we go back to the conference, and of course we learn that Christ was once again deemed crazy, but he gained quite a bit of influence and power by converting others until he was crucified. And of course, his apostles, his disciples, carried and passed down the secret, hiding it from civilization until man can develop the science sophisticated enough to prove what Christ was saying all along, and to combat this evil threat. So yeah. So here, so what do we got? Yeah, there's also a scene. Okay, Wagner says this is one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. It has such great atmosphere. Oh, the music is all over the place. I mean, in a good way. The music is everywhere. The music has a presence, and to me, the music personifies the villain. It's crazy. It's just so much atmosphere. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And Charles Long says there's also a scene in the movie where a reanimated corpse says pray for death. Yes, that's true. That's true. The anti-God was banished by God in the realm of anti-Mary. I laughed when I heard that. So the father of Satan is the anti-God, but we learned that later. So, um, but yeah, so we see her. So we go back to Susan. She is suffocating. Let me see if I can find her. So Susan's now a zombie. So she's just standing there. She's just standing there staring at Walter. Walter's trying to talk to her, and she's just standing there like Michael Myers, motionless and creepy as hell. He goes in the room and then he comes back out and she's gone. And I think this is where uh, he tries to flirt with Lisa. He says, "Are you?" He's like, "You look Asian." That pissed her off, and she storms out of the room. And of course, there's Baldy there. He's asking where Susan is. He's like, "Oh, Susan was just out there." But where'd she go? Well, it's been almost a minute, so she's likely not going to be standing still there for all that time. But that's just me. So Baldy goes downstairs. She kind of enters. Let me see. So she kind of enters the scene kind of like Michael Myers in the very first Halloween, like right. Okay, that's not happening. I didn't want this to take too long. Seriously. Let me see. There you go, kind of like that. Just him, just kind of remind me of the scene where in Halloween where Bob and Linda are making out on the sofa, and it pans back and we see Myers just staring at them, motionless. This kind of reminded me of that. Of course, from the behind him, that's kind of what made me think of. So,
I'm back, by the way.
oh, thank you. Susan's already been possessed and she's acting all creepy right here. I was just comparing how this shot right here, where we see her staring at Baldy in the foreground or in the background over there, kind of reminded me of how Myers was staring at Linda and Bob when they were making out on the sofa in the first Halloween movie. What I'm talking about?
I think so. I need to rewatch Halloween though, because I've only really seen it once, like all the way through. I think I watched like parts of it when I got my 4K
Yeah.
from Shout. But I plan on like watching more of the Halloween movies once, like around next month. So
Yeah, they kind of just walk into the Doyle house of the Myers. The shape killed Annie, the babysitter of the I mean, not the Doyle house, the Wallace house. And so they just go in. Her and her boyfriend just walk in, and they have nothing to do, so they just make out on the couch. And Myers is in the house, just like watching them from the other room. It's really creepy, and it was a very similar shot because like it pans out until we reveal that Myers has actually been watching them the whole time. So it's creepy. and this kind of reminded me of that. Very John Carpenter looking scene right here. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and the whole corridor scene too. The corridor scenes kind of remind me of The Shining. I don't know if you ever have you ever seen The Shining?
Oh yeah, Stanley Kubrick's.
Yeah, this right here
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of The Shining. This just this shot, a still shot of the corridor
Oh yeah,
right there.
absolutely. It really does, actually. Yeah. No, I've seen The Shining decent amount of times. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't. They made us watch that in a film class that I took last year.
Oh, they did. Interesting. What did you? What they? Why did they teach it? What was the? What was the? Were they teaching about?
Well,
Like,
they just wanted to show just one horror movie for the semester. That's really what it was. But like honestly, like if you're gonna show a Stanley Kubrick film to a film class, I would have went with Doctor Strangelove or A Clockwork Orange.
okay.
Like that's what I
What
would
about
have.
2001?
Well, 2001's good too, but like that one for me was like that went really slow the first time I saw it, and it took me like 3 days to watch it.
Oh, it did.
That
Yeah,
that that's the
it's one of those
that's
movies.
yeah. So it's one of those movies for me. But then when I watched but like the two movies I just mentioned, like I can get through those with like a day.
Mm-hmm.
Plus like if you're gonna show like a horror movie that should be taught in like a film class, it's Psycho. Like that's what you should show them.
Oh, original. Yeah, the original Alfred
Yeah.
Hitchcock. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock, just so like you can tell them like, hey, like Alfred Hitchcock, this is one of the most important directors, ever in film history and all that.
Yeah, I mean, he
Like
pretty much created the slasher, in my opinion.
oh yeah, like
Him and the guy that directed. There's another movie that came out the same year. It's called Peeping Tom.
Peeping
Very,
Tom.
yeah. It's another movie that came out in 1960. It's about a photographer who kills. It's about a serial killer photographer. He has like a little knife that sticks out of his camera. It's pretty funny, and it's pretty creepy too. It's another really good psychological movie too. So, and of
Um
course he shows he
Michael
makes,
Powell?
yeah.
Okay. I just looked it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another one. There's some really good creepy first person shots in that movie. So that's another movie I kind of want to do at some point too. So, but going back, um, so we learned that like there's a lot of influence. Like I said, that there was psychokinesis earlier. They've been picking up power, a lot of power from this thing, and going back downstairs, back to Baldy and Susan. So he finds Susan. So he's looking for Susan. She's being creepy and evading him. He finds her glasses on the floor. He hears this beeping, beep, beep, beep. He goes to investigate, and all of a sudden, she snaps his neck. Let me see if I can. There you go. She snaps his neck without me actually showing it. Yeah, she just. Of course, we don't see her. We see a pair of hands going right there. So, yeah. So he's victim number two. So the question is, do they stay dead? With this movie, is this your typical slasher, or is there something even more evil at work? We'll see. So they're having a conversation here. The priest and Donald Pleasance and the professor, and they basically surmise that a god that can they surmise that a god that can influence every subatomic particle, and they all have anti-particles, and this is where the whole idea of an anti-god gets pitched. A mirror image, a negative side resides not in our universe, and wow. I was just like, wow. So instead of light, there's darkness, and I was like, okay. So going back into Star Trek lore, there's an episode. I don't know if you ever seen any Star Trek, Runner. Have you seen any Star Trek?
Barely. I've seen one episode and that's it. and it was the pilot of the original series.
Okay, so what, the one with the silver eyes?
That's the Cage.
Oh, you saw the
That's what.
Cage. Okay.
Yeah, I saw
Wow.
the Cage only because my dad made me watch it because he grew up watching Star Trek when he was younger,
Okay.
back when it like aired and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
and I'm debating on whether to get the 6 movie collection on 4K that Paramount recently released.
You absolutely
Of them,
should.
I probably should only because I need to watch. I feel like I should watch more Star Trek so I can get into it. I know they did like a steelbook release for the original series that, god damn it, that was so fucking expensive when it came out. It was like more than $100.
Oh, really? I did not know
Yeah,
that. Wow.
and it was around the same time that they released the was it the 3 movie series or 2 or 4 or whatever. And now
Mm-hmm.
Paramount does this thing where they try to get their customers to double dip on their releases, and that's why like people are like super pissed off at them.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's bullshit. That's pure bullshit.
Yeah, because it was hilarious because like they release like the first 3 or 4 movies or whatever on 4K as a collection for Star Trek, and then like a year, like less than a year later, they reveal, oh yeah, we're doing the same set, but we're gonna add 2 more movies to it.
Yeah, we're gonna do two more movies, and then we have the motion picture
Director's cut.
director's cut, which
So
I did
that
buy.
yeah,
I,
that's what they were like trying to market the collection thing, and they did like a standard release and then like some collector's edition.
they did have all of them at your Best Buy, by the way. I did see them all at your Best Buy, which I was really impressed. I did not expect to see that.
Oh yeah, speaking of you seeing it at my Best Buy, we ran past each other. What was it? What day was that? It was a few days ago.
I think it was Saturday.
Was it? Oh, yeah, it was
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah,
Yeah.
Saturday. I wanted to check out another Best Buy, see if there was anything I wanted to pick up. And at that point, I wasn't ready to pick up the rest of the 4K. So I bought the motion picture and I bought the Rathacon because those two had director's cuts,
Uh huh.
whereas the rest of them didn't really. Well, I mean, Star Trek 6 does have a director's cut, but other than that, I didn't want to pick up the rest of the movies yet. So, um,
Yeah, the standard like releases like individually, like those slipcover posters like look fucking amazing.
oh yeah,
But they didn't have the I didn't see the motion picture there. You can only I think it was only there for the was it the collectors. What's up, Dan? That listen, I like Dan Blackroyd, but that dude gets on my fucking nerves so much. And saying fuck your Best Buy is the least of it.
welcome, by the way, welcome. So yeah, Charles Long brings up a good point. There was not the episode I was thinking of, but that's another great example. So there were two episodes of the original series that dealt with alternate parallel universes, mirror universes. To be honest, one's called The Alternative Factor, where they find a guy who wants to murder his other self, his antimatter self. So there's a matter universe and there's an antimatter universe. And there's this, he has this ship, and the ship has the ability to create a corridor that links the two universes. The thing is, if the doors are open on both sides of that corridor, matter and antimatter don't mix well together. And that's the end of everything. So they have to stop the evil Lazarus from trying to continually open, a door to our universe, or everything's going to get fucked up. So that was the alternative factor. And then there's another episode, the more popular episode, where Kirk and McCoy and Scotty and Uhura, they accidentally get transported to a mirror universe where everybody's evil. All their, like, you meet Spock's counterpart. He has a mustache and a goatee, and they all, like, they torture people, they assassinate each other in order to move up in rank. I'm surprised that this movie went into that territory of dealing with alternate or parallel antimatter universes. So there you go. So that's what made me think. And Dan Blackwright says, "Runner, I'm here to serve." So
Yep.
so we're back to so yeah, so something moved. So they feel going back to the scene. They move something moved through the room, a cold, according to the priest or Donald Pleasance. And then we get to a moment where there are three students. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's the next scene. Three students are outside questioning this whole thing. Okay, so there's Mullet here. There's this dude. I just call him. I'm sorry. I'm gonna sound insensitive, but I call him Black Dude. And this guy, I don't know what to call him, so I call him Richard Gere. So there's Mullet, Black Dude, and Richard Gere questioning the whole thing. Mullet stays outside, and the other two go inside. And all of a sudden, because he's outside alone, all of a sudden the homeless are behind him, and then there's Susan right here in front of him, and all of a sudden, pigeon ant lady just walks up to him like something out of an Italian giallo film and just starts stabbing him multiple times, like that, and like it wasn't just like a few times. She was doing like 30 times. Like it was like it took like a few seconds for it to end. And look how evil she looks. Look at those eyes. Look at those black eyes. Look at those blackest of eyes
It's
right here.
crazy.
So yeah, so now we're really starting to get into the meat of things right here. And of course, everybody realizes there's people are disappearing. Hero or what's his name, Walter, has a nightmare. We learn that everybody's nightmares are all connected. Everybody dreams the same dream. It's like a transmission from the future. They dream of the church. They dream of the church, and they dream of a dark figure in the door right by the door of the church, and it's a dark figure. We can't make out what it is, and everybody dreams the same dream. It's pretty creepy, and it sounds like a transmission. So translator girl decides to go to bed. She's tired, and of course, all of a sudden, Susan emerges from right behind the door. Let me see if I can get that really creepy. No, right here. Okay, maybe not. Never mind. So yeah. Um, let me see. So here we have, they're looking for people. Let me see. So these three are, I don't remember where I'm at. So yeah, so that he's dead. She's trying to figure out that. Um, where's so yeah, so there's Brian and Walter right here. They're talking about um, they're looking for people. They can't find anybody. He doesn't want to get up, and yeah, we find out that the green liquid is actually dripping in Baldy's mouth. So he's gonna come back to life, kind of like this, and just help Susan out with everything. You see right here. Okay, so she goes to bed. And there's creepy Susan right here. So what Susan does is she basically jumps on. Okay, so here's the transmission of what I was talking about. This is the dream that everybody's having. That's a dark figure. We don't know who that is yet. We do find out in the end, though. It's kind of it's weird. It makes you kind of wonder what that's implicating right here. So, but here, Lisa's in bed, and Susan is crawling onto her bed like a cat. So here she gets waken up. She's on top of her, and then she starts spitting. She starts spitting the liquid into her mouth. So there
Yeah.
you go, right here.
They're making love in a completely different way.
Yeah, it's like I was reading up on like the themes that people believe Carpenter was doing. So what was going on in the 80s, especially the 86, 87 when this was made. the AIDS epidemic was going on, and the way that diseases were passed from one person to another was liquid, especially liquid from people. So I don't know if this is supposed to be symbolize. I'm not sure if that's supposed to symbolize that or be an allegory to that. Uh, but they do. I mean, they go into it a little bit. I mean, Walter. There's a belief that Walter is a homosexual because he gets trapped in a closet. The women are holding him in the closet. He won't get out. It's weird. I don't know. I didn't even think about that. I read this on I read an article about it, and I found that. Did you notice that at all?
About this movie?
Yeah.
About what exactly again?
Walter, they're saying, well, they're insinuating Walter's a homosexual because he hides in the closet from the women.
What?
Remember when he hides in the closet? Remember they bring up the container, they put it in the room, and he's trapped in there, and he basically barricades himself in the closet.
I know he barricades himself in a closet, but that's just to avoid them from getting him affected, though.
Yeah, but it's like yeah, but the people have been saying, like, been analyzing that same thing. It's probably an allegory to him being homosexual, or indirectly stating that. I don't know.
I
Or
I
maybe
don't know.
or maybe it's what Dempsey says right here. It's Cobra Kai's infamous gender fluids. Cobra Kai. Did you hear about they're making a Karate? They apparently announced a Karate Kid movie.
Yeah, I thought about making a video about that. I don't know. Um, it it I'm like I have very mixed feelings on that.
I'm like, why would they make a Karate Kid movie? Like, Karate Kids. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Karate Kid was Mr. Miyagi and whoever Daniel or whatever student he has. When Mr. Miyagi's gone, it's Cobra Kai.
See,
I mean, this is Cobra Kai now.
when they first made the announcement, I was like, all right, if it ties in with Cobra Kai, I'm in. But then John Hurwitz or whatever said like on Twitter somewhere recently, like, hey, that Karate Kid movie announced by Sony, that has nothing to do with us or something like that. It's like, yeah, I'm out.
Oh,
I don't
that's
care.
stupid then. Because they already
Yeah.
remade the Karate Kid
Yeah.
with Jackie
Oh,
Chan.
yeah. It's weird. Well, it's not gonna be a continuation of that movie. It's gonna be about the Ralph Macchio movies, but like it's weird because it's like you already have Cobra Kai. I don't understand why you'd want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand it either. So I
I would
guess
I need more details though. Honestly, that's the one
same.
thing because we weren't given enough details on that. It's just like, oh, we just announced a new Karate Kid movie. That's it.
One other thing that I didn't even I didn't even get into yet. The blonde, I forget what was her name again. Kelly, I think her name's Kelly. Yeah. Okay, the blonde's name is Kelly, and we find out that she has like a major bruise. Let me see if I can find her. She has a bruise on her arm, and she doesn't tell anybody. Okay, here, perfect. So at one point she has just a simple bruise. But here the bruise got bigger, and it looks like it formed like like a cross with like a little curved little tail at the bottom right here. And for a second, I'm like, what is this? Like, it's not a stigmata, because stigmatas is basically the wounds of Christ appearing on a person. So it's not that. So apparently, what this means is that she was chosen to be, as Charles Long puts it right here, a vessel for Satan. So obviously this bruise, this thing is going to expand to the point where she'll look the way she does in my thumbnail. So, but that was one thing that I had to state that they needed to set up. And yeah, they she ends up going to sleep. She ends up going to sleep, and they have another. They try to have another meeting, and here she's already been affected, obviously, and she just types. Um, she just keeps typing line, 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 line multiple times, and then there's the message: "You will not be saved." And of course, this is the one black student sees this. Yeah, you will not be saved by the what do you call it? You will. He says, in fact, you will not be saved. And then, of course, they both attack him. She closes the door. Susan right here. So he's victim number. He's the next victim. So here they have another meeting, obviously, and they talk about Donald Pleasance asks any of them if any of them dreamed. And of course, we get the quote: "A dark figure emerging from a dark figure emerging from the front of the church." And we find out that it's a They find out it's a tachyon signal from backwards in time. So in other words, it's like a warning, an omen, whatever you want to call it. It's crazy. It's like this stuff I had to write down. Like what I'm like trying to I'm trying to put my mind to. I'm like, what is going on here? Like it's just something that was I had to rewatch. I had to rewatch scenes several times just to understand what the hell was going on. So, did you have that issue? I was not. I did not fully understand this at first. I had to rewatch the scenes multiple times to get an idea.
With this scene in particular?
Just understanding what they're talking about. Like they go into tachyons and they're going into like all this techno babble that belongs in like Star Trek. And it's like they're basically saying that what they're dreaming is a signal, a radio signal from the future, from the year of 1999, where I guess they believe the apocalypse is going to happen and the devil's going to arise from the church, and they all have that same dream. So
You don't think it has to do with like the ending part where like, the mirrors and stuff? You don't think that has anything to do with it?
I think so. I think so. I'm not exactly sure. So
That's just a wild guess for me though, cuz that's like the closest thing that those things can really come out of, really, cuz remember was it I forgot who. I think it was oh man, I forgot someone in like the ending part where there's the big mirror, it's glowing, and she's she's trying to put her hand in the thing and then grabs like this demon out. Maybe that had something to do with it. They're like reading into that frequency, like, hey, like there's something big. Yeah, that
like
right
this
there.
right here.
That right there. Like that big hand that's a demon hand.
Yeah, that's I believe the anti-god hand or whatever, the father of Satan.
I was gonna say,
And
yeah, it's probably
that's
it's
Kelly's arm right there.
yeah, I was gonna say it's Kelly's arm trying to grab Satan, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could tell. Look at all that. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's the thing. I love his response to the possession. His response is weird. Like he's laughing, he's crying, he's seeing gospel, and he's just. I'm like, what is he gonna do? Like, what is he doing? What is he gonna do? He looks at himself in the mirror for a long time. Like he goes into it's just he's just walking around like that. It gets freaking crazy here. And hey, look, you got your buddies here.
Hey, what's up,
What's
Greg?
up, fans? What's up, Fanzine? How you doing? So here, where did I leave off? All right, so yeah, once again they're talking about. Oh, hey, look who got back up. So you see all the bugs here. He's still standing in the bugs, and it's just like I don't like here. Did he just like did his entire body get consumed by bugs, or did he just turn into bugs? They're
Well,
all watching, then he just falls
no, I
apart.
mean, well, yeah, he's probably getting like eaten alive or somehow because like he just disintegrates after this.
And look at those black eyes right there. Jeez.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, that scar is like that's insane, and yeah, yeah.
And like he literally like I guess you could say it's eating him because his clothes just completely. It's like his body disappears, and the clothes are left behind.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Kind of like becoming a force ghost.
No,
Except
I
for in Star
no,
Wars,
I
they take their robes with them for some reason.
I'm I'm guessing they're eating all the fat in him, I'm guessing, and
The
that's
flesh,
why his yeah, the flesh or the fat, so that way the
but
body
like
like
there's no
shrinks.
bones left either. It's just like the pants just fall off. The pants just fall to the ground. There's nothing left.
Yeah, cause no, cause isn't like the next like shot or the next like few shots or whatever like he just like his body just doesn't exist anymore. It's just clothes falling down or something.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
right
right
here.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, right there. Like like he's gone. Like every single or organ in his body fucking gone.
I'm just like I guess the bugs ate it or something caused it to vanish. I don't know.
Cause like what are these? Cause like they weren't the ants. Like they weren't the two ants that were next to that one lady in the beginning. Remember that we were
I
talking
thought they
about
were
it.
like I don't know if they were beetles or ticks or something. I didn't know what. I
I
honestly
was gonna
didn't.
say
I put down ticks.
these look like beetles of some kind, but like but then there were like the two ants or whatever next to
Yeah.
that one lady in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it looks like it's like a variety of bugs that can affect you. But I
And
guess
yeah, I agree.
it's got
Sadakar says, "What's up, Sadakar? Member of the Nerdporial Continuum. I love old horror films. They are just about horror, hardly any injected agendas. If there was any agendas, it was very well. It was very subtle. It was very subtle. So, like there was, yeah. And of course, if you like this, give Phantoms a go. I like that too. They feel quite alike to me. Phantoms. Is that another movie?
I still need to watch that.
Okay. I don't think I've seen. I don't think I've seen them. I have not seen Phantoms. So, that'd be another thing to check
I
out.
I've heard good things about them. I just haven't gotten the time to watch those yet.
Yeah. Oh, and of course of course I forgot to mention that what he says out here. He's like pray for death, and of course then the body turns into. I put down that I thought what I was seeing yesterday was that the body just turned into bugs, like he transmuted and be turned into bugs, like the flesh turned into bugs. I don't know. So
That that
I
that could
guess
that that could be possible because what is it? There's a ton of bugs, and it looks like even more bugs that like just come in later um after like they all eat him and stuff. Cause
yeah. And here we have
there
the
was a
yeah we.
spider up there. Speaking of bugs,
Oh really? Okay.
like it was like a little one. I just grabbed the web and flang it across.
So here we have him singing. Here he's once again. He's like I said earlier. He's reacting differently to the. He's reacting differently to the possession or to the liquid going into him. Or actually, no, they didn't. Actually, no. It was different. They were. Excuse me. Excuse me.
All right, I guess just me. How's everyone in the chat doing? And yeah, like Fan Scene says in the chat, great freaking movie. We were just talking about how, this is one of the more underrated John Carpenter movies. Cause yeah. I was just talking to the chat, trying to entertain a little bit while you were out for those 2 seconds.
Oh no, it's fine. Um, yeah, virus. We'll talk about virus. You already said that, Charles. Thanks again.
I
All
need to
right,
watch that too.
here he's singing Amazing Grace, and he impales himself in the neck with a piece of the chair. I was just like, oh, like okay, if he does this in front of everybody, and it's just yeah, right here he's doing it to himself, in front of everybody. It's just like, what the heck is going on? What the heck is going on? And of course, she's in bed. This is starting to become a problem. The wound right there. They save him, or I think they save him, or he's dead. I don't know, but I couldn't tell at this point whether They just, I guess he's still alive technically,
I was
even though
gonna
he's,
say, yeah, technically he didn't get saved, and he's not. Well, spoiler alert: he gets taken over
yeah.
by that creature.
And of course, everybody's trying to get out at this point. The professors are all trying to get out, but they're completely barricaded in. Those homeless, those bastards, Alice Cooper and those bastards barricaded them into the place so they can't escape.
Yeah.
So, we find out they bring up the container. So they bring the Kim, or was her name Kim? Lisa and Susan bring up the green container from the chapel up onto the into the room where Kelly is sleeping, and it's doing the same thing right here. So the liquid is kind of um, pouring onto the ceiling, and then it ultimately pours into Kelly's mouth. Of course, using I forget what they. I think they rewind it. I don't know how they create that effect in the 80s. I think they used like they rewound it or something. Not sure. And of course, Walter is here, and
The spraying part of the liquid, is that what you're
yeah,
talking about?
when it, like the whole liquid goes into Kelly. So here he's
I'm
seeing the liquid
I'm
go
not.
up, and right here, this is perfect. This is exactly where it's going. This effect right here, it's all going
Yeah.
completely into her.
Yeah, they definitely use some type of reverse effect because he says it's going into her, right? Because I gotta remember how this all worked. Because you gotta know, when I was rewatching this, I was doing some of my homework while watching at the same time, so I didn't watch like every single part,
Yeah.
but I watched the bigger parts of the movie. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how they did it. Like, probably, yeah, it's probably a reverse effect
So
of the
they
film.
attack. So they attack Walter right here. He gets knocked to the ground. They don't spray him, luckily for him. And yeah, they're looking around. Things are going on. He gets up. If people are being attacked. He's attacking them. They're all
Looks like
being attacked.
looks like Vincent D'Onofrio from Men in Black.
He kind of does, yeah. And of course, they're scared. Like they're trying to run away. Of course, Donald Pleasance, being the noble one, goes and locks himself in a room without helping anybody else.
Yeah, he
Uh,
just secretly does it, and it's like, oh,
yeah, and of
yeah,
course they're all
fuck
there.
all these people.
They're kind of acting. They're standing guard. The rest of them run into a room. They barricade themselves in. Um,
And this is where we get to the part where what's his name? Walter locks himself up in the closet, and they try to bust a hole to get him through the other side.
That's right, right here. And he's witnessing the transformation of Kelly. So she went from having a simple wound or a simple sore on her arm, and she's starting to look more and more like a freaking meat puppet zombie. And of course, right here, okay,
Oh
we're not quite
yeah,
that far yet, but she's looks like she's giving birth to something. Her belly is just uh, completely bulged out like that. It's crazy. And he got infected. They got the liquid on him, so now he's one of them. Look at this, beautiful. You're just like, oh my gosh, what is this?
looks
I
like
was like, oh no,
looks like Freddy Krueger if he had a wife.
She looks like a burn victim, and he's freaking out. He's like, you got to get me out of here. And of course, he's talking to the wall because they're on the other side of the wall. So they start trying to help get him out of there. So they're trying to do that. Donald Pleasance is praying. He's hiding in a corner, praying out of sight of the door. Of course, right now the door gets busted in. He's hiding, and he's just looking at the. He just sees the mirror and he looks. He's looking at her. He's just looking at her. He's just looking at the mirror, crying and trying to do stuff. Brian here tries to escape. He climbs out the window, but the he gets advanced on from both sides by the schizophrenic homeless people who are also possessed. And of course we're back to they Brian gets rescued. He gets pulled back in. Walter here is witnessing changes going on. He's freaking out. There's Richard Gere there trying to get the wall open for him. It's taking a while. He's like, oh, it's going to take at least a couple hours. And yeah, I forget what they say here. What they say. Um, I think he lets them know what's going on with her, and the rest try to help him. They open it or no, that okay, that doesn't happen yet. Let's see. Um, Brian suggests getting help. Professor says no one can help them from outside. And I think this is a moment where they kiss and everything. Holy
Yeah, that's
shit! I
it.
forgot
And
about that right there. Look at that. It's getting worse and worse and worse.
blood sores or whatever you call them.
To answer your question, why did I choose this film? I chose film because I've never seen it, and I've been meaning to see this movie for a while. And so, you know what? I figured, I might as well do it. I might as well do a stream talking about it. So, Satan is really making himself at home inside her. Why did they choose her? I have no idea. I don't think there was a reason. She just happened to be the one. But yeah, she's bleeding in spots. Her mouth's ajar. Perhaps it just they say it's perhaps it's like a gestation period at this point, a parasitic relationship. Of course, the tissue and the bone change, and I guess it's a way to, as they put in the movie, actualize power or something. I don't remember. And then she notices that the marking is that marking on her on the arm was like an astrologer's staff used in ritual magic in the Middle Ages. Okay, so it wasn't a crucifix. I called it like a crucifix with a little tail. It wasn't a crucifix. It was a astrological staff, according to the movie. So let's see. I don't think there's much less else. The blonde ends up becoming conscious. Let me see if I can get there. He's reading scripture. Oh, yeah, here she is. She's conscious now. And then she uses telekinesis to the point where Walter just starts freaking out. He's like, get me out of here. Get me out of here. And they're trying to
Yeah,
dig
and
him out.
they like split the door
Yeah.
with the telekinesis. Yeah.
So they're trying to dig him out. And they're trying to, these two are trying to get in. And they pull they're trying to pull Walter in. I think she bites him. I thought he was a goner because I see Lisa try to bite him or something. I thought he was a goner, but apparently he's not.
No, they
So
grabbed him just in time.
yeah, and yeah, and then basically we find out. Oh, okay, here's a scene. She finds a mirror and she tries to put her fingers in the mirror, but it's not big enough. It's not big enough, so she gets really upset about that. I was
Yeah,
kind of
cause
surprised.
no, cause yeah, cause it's not big enough for her to pull in Satan.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. It's pretty creepy right here. It's a little shot.
Yeah, it's a
So
good
now
shot though. I like
it
it.
is a very good shot. And here we have they're out of the room. They're trying to put up a fight now. And yeah, okay. So I got to so what's going on? So what's going on here? So they're trying to let me see. Freaks out a mirror. I got it. I'm on the last page now, so we're almost done. Okay, wait. So Blonde walks in the same room. So he's walking. He's trying to get. He's trying to. Okay, here we go. She walks in the same room where Donald Pleasance is, and we get this very poltergeist looking mirror right here. You know how it's like all shiny and light. Have you ever seen Poltergeist, by the way?
No, that was one of the new 4K releases, like today, and I didn't buy it. I thought about buying the Steelbook, even though the Steelbook isn't great. The Steelbook art I think is better than the actual cover art. The cover art's fucking awful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I didn't have the money for it, so I just bought the Lost Boys steelbook.
Okay.
Um, but I know what you're talking about. I mean, I've seen the poster for Poltergeist. It's like it's a girl looking at a TV.
Okay. And here is I got a tip from Santa for $5. Thank you, Santa. He says, "Remember to please like, subscribe, and support our guests. We're all in this together. Real fans. Thank you." And
Oh yeah,
should they support? Should they subscribe to you, Runner? Should they subscribe to you?
I think so. That would be nice. I don't post a whole lot of stuff because I've been super busy, but when I do, I will whenever I have the time. So but yeah, subscribe in the meantime. That'd be awesome.
And we got Dan Blackright came back. He's like, it's kind of odd they would build a church around that giant slushy machine. Yeah, you think? Yeah,
Yeah,
they kept it a secret for all
good
that
point.
time. I
Yeah,
guess
good
I guess
point.
nobody was really interested. But then again, it's only a movie. So here we find out that she finds a mirror that is to her liking, that is big enough for her to bring his father back into the realm, and we hear "Father," and of course, like I said, the
Yeah,
mirror is bright and menacing, and Donald Pleasance is witnessing, and they're fighting like they're in the other room. They're fighting. The professor and all of them are fighting. Susan is fighting. Uh, they're they're fighting Susan and Lisa. They throw them out the window. Here, what's his name? Brian takes on the crying black dude, the black student, and of course
yeah,
here Donald Pleasance builds up his courage, takes out an axe, and cuts off her arm right here, as you can see. But her arm grows right back, and then he
yeah.
cuts off her head. He
And she
decapitates
takes
her, and
the
she just
head.
puts the head back on. Of course, in this position because to make it work right, they had to do it in this position. So
I was gonna say like you can sort of tell they like did something to where like oh her real head is below it's below the coat or whatever she's wearing so she can like take the prop head and like it's cool though. I like that sort of stuff.
yeah, and of course they use telekinesis. She uses telekinesis, moving this big giant. I don't even know what the hell this is. A safe or
No,
door?
it looks like it looks like a it looks like a burner, you know that thing in
Oh yeah,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
fireman. Okay,
The yeah,
Wabash. Okay,
the fire burner thing, whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it.
so he gets crushed. He ends up getting crushed by this thing. He's not dead though, but he gets put out of commission, so he can't do anything. He can't really stop her from where he's at, I
Mhm.
guess. So everybody's in danger. Everybody's fighting someone, and it just trying to bring her father back from the realm. Here's my thumbnail right here. She reaches in. He's down on the ground. They're all down. They're fighting. Okay, let me see.
Oh, that's the end.
That's it. That is the end.
That's the end.
Okay, I'm a little too far.
Okay, though. So this is the scene where well, what's her name? The redhead, Catherine,
Yeah,
goes right, like pushes oh, what's
Kelly.
her Kelly? Yeah, pushes Kelly to the mirror.
And
Um,
she falls into the mirror too,
yeah, I was just gonna say that she falls right into the mirror, and then Donald Pleasance throws the axe,
and shatters the mirror, trapping
shatters
them
the
both in
mirror,
there.
and everyone pretty much in a way lives happily ever after, except for Brian.
Yeah, so because they trapped everybody that was infected is now dead, and of course you can tell by the all the smoke or gas or whatever that is coming out of their mouths. And for a second, I thought it was going to end on a very dark note. Like in other words, I thought like humanity was going to be over. So I was kind of my expectations were subverted right there. So I can't get a good shot of that. Where is that? Let me see. There we go.
There you go.
And he's like, no, yeah. So they're trapped. And it was just like, and like Charles said earlier, it was like that episode with Lazarus because he was trapped. Well, ultimately, what happened was they had to destroy the ship that created the corridor between the matter and antimatter realms, and they had to trap both of them together in that parts forever. And it kind of made me think of that. So I'm kind of curious if John Carpenter was just watching some Star Trek one day and he came up with this idea of a horror movie. So there you go, there you go. So, but yeah, so um, what's her name again?
Oh, which one?
Catherine is gone.
Yeah,
So
Kath. Yeah,
she is in
Catherine's.
the nether. What is it? The nether realm, the dark side. They call it the dark side, hell, I guess you can call it.
Yeah,
She's in the
the
antimatter universe.
yeah. So like she's gone. And then all the infected guys are like normal again,
They're
somewhat.
dead. They're actually dead.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, they're dead.
And
That's right.
but the homeless go back to normal. So the homeless were spared.
That's right. The homeless were fine. It's just the other guys were dead. Forgot about that.
So Donald
Um,
Pleasance survives. He's like, "We did it. We did it. You saved it. You saved everybody. We're awesome."
yeah.
I think is that what he says. Um,
I don't know. I don't know if he says it like word for word like that. I think
no, I'm making this up.
yeah, but what's it, Brian or whatever his name is right here?
Yeah, he's
Like
devastated.
yeah, he's devastated, and then like he has a dream where I believe he sees Catherine, right? In that
She's the dark figure in the dream.
yeah, she's the dark figure in that dream right there. And then he wakes up. He has a second nightmare or whatever where like something is sleeping right next to him. Right there. That's her right
Okay, was
there.
that was Catherine, right? I believe that
That
was
had it,
Catherine.
yeah, that had to have been.
So Wikipedia got this wrong because it says he wakes up and he sees Kelly next to him, but that's not true. So
That's
Wikipedia,
nah,
whoever
that's
wrote that in got it wrong.
no, that's bullshit because she's got red hair. If you like
Exactly.
take a close look, Kelly's got blonde hair.
Hmm.
No, it make no sense for Kelly to be there because that wasn't the love interest. Makes no damn sense.
So I'm
So
curious. Like the broadcast is basically saying this is not over. Like there's going to be more to come in 1999 in the future. So
yeah, but
and
like then you,
and Catherine's going to be part of it. Maybe Catherine will be maybe she will be the beast or the father. She'll be the form of the father. Who knows? So
um
it's just when you think I thought about this after I watched the movie, I was like, wow, like just imagine being her stuck in that realm alone with Satan and his father. Can you like what would it be like? Like what would they do to her?
I don't know.
It's just like I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine it. So but yeah, this is pretty much this was the final jump scare at the end of the movie. Every horror movie had to have a final jump scare. Usually, you had Carrie with you had Carrie with the hand coming out of the ground. You had Friday 13th with Jason popping out of the lake, and then you had
Mhm.
this right here. I'm sure there's plenty millions of other examples,
Oh
shitty
yeah.
examples, but yeah. And
Um
it gets to the point where he is curious about the mirror himself. Okay, I'm going too far. He looks in the mirror and he tries to touch it, but before we see him actually make any contact, is when it goes into
it
when it
cuts to
becomes
black.
and then it goes into credits. So and the music
What
here is just freaking awesome.
oh yeah, dude. Like this is one of his best scores. I don't care what anyone says. John Carpenter, man. Like
Yeah.
yeah, and you know when he did the whole when I first watched this movie when he did the whole like hand thing to the mirror, I was like I knew they were going to cut it like the way that they did. I was just like, "Yep, you're going to cut it in like the in like you're going to cut it to the point where like we don't see him actually like touch the mirror.
Yeah.
Like I knew that was gonna happen.
But that, my friends, is the Prince of Darkness, and I'll just say this was another. I'm surprised I didn't see this one. I thought this was pretty good. This was very different from his other films. It subverted my expectations. This was not what I expected, but there were some things I did expect, and it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't as disturbing as I thought it would be. So there you
I
go.
was yeah, you know, like we said, very underrated movie. I'm not gonna pretend like it's one of my favorite overall films that he's made. It's not, but it is still a damn good one. Um, The Thing is probably my favorite, which is the first of the Apocalypse trilogy. But I think well, The Thing is like a in a way it's like a comfort movie for me.
The
Just
thing
yeah, and the Thing
is
just
it because
because
of bum 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 bum
it's
bum
not so
bum.
much. I mean, the score is good and all, but like it's not. It has less to do with the score and more to do with like just being like at winter. You know, like it's all snow. Well,
Yeah,
it's
you're
Alaska, but
yeah. That's the thing. The thing about the thing is you're in a place where there's like no you're completely cut off from civilization. In this case, the first thing from the 50s was in the Arctic. The 1982 one was in Antarctic. So
yeah. I also like that it's like a bunch of dudes just hanging out, having fun in their own like cabin and stuff, or not cabin, but like their own like base or
it's a
whatever.
science outpost. So it's a bunch of
Yeah,
dudes just doing their work
just
and
having fun at times. You know,
yeah.
like like that stuff's nice, and then you get to this
It's
whole
very diverse. People did different people doing different things. There's a cook. There's the scientist. There's Kurt Russell's the pilot,
mhm.
the pilot to transport everybody out. So he's and I think the rest of them are scientists. One's a doctor. One's I forget which one Wilford Brimley was, but he was like the main scientist.
And then you have the one guy who's rollerblading around
Yeah,
listening
I
to
think he's the
Stevie
cook.
Wonder.
He's the
Yeah,
cook.
he's the cook. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he disappears. He was one of the final survivors, but he disappears. We don't see what happens to him. So there's a lot of speculation there. So
Oh yeah, that's right. And then in the chat, and then Kurt Russell pours his whiskey into a computer. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, because he's playing chess. And
Yeah,
he's like,
he was playing
bitch.
chess and he got pissed off.
Yeah, he's like, bitch. So the computer was probably a woman. Yeah, you guys got pissed off. So, but yeah,
Dude,
so
have you ever listened to the audio commentary with Carpenter and Russell for
no, I
The Thing?
haven't. No, I haven't.
It's one of the best audio commentaries.
I've listened to some of it. I listened to some of it, but I haven't seen the whole thing.
But like it's cool. I think any because I watched like part of the Escape from New York commentary as well that those two did. It's like you can tell those two got along very well, whatever project they did.
The tab that shouldn't be says bunch of competing streams and a nightmare delusion on on-call tickets at work to deal with. Greer, I wish I would watch the full thing on replay. Well, thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're practically done here, so we're just giving our final
Yeah,
thoughts. So
we just got to the credits.
we got to the credits, but this was an amazing. This movie had an amazing soundtrack. I did not. The acting was okay. It felt very like once again, it felt like I just couldn't help smile at the fact that the two actors from Big Trouble were in this movie. So it felt like a
I was
follow
gonna
up to Big
say, yeah, you
Trouble.
can because those two were in it. I was just like, he probably did this right after he did Big Trouble,
Yeah,
and he did. If you like look at like which movies like came in which year and all that.
yeah. So, but do you have any final thoughts of this before we conclude the stream?
Um, Not that I could think of. I just think if you haven't seen this and you like John Carpenter, highly recommend.
All right, definitely. And yeah, Big Trouble. If you like Big Trouble, you'll like this too. So, but yeah, John Carpenter, everything. Yeah, it's such a great it's a great thing. And here's a message for you. If you like musical score runner, listen to Alien Alternative Soundtrack. Amazing.
Mm, I'll look into that.
So he says you will see actors from John Carpenter's movies making multiple appearances. Obviously, Donald Pleasance is probably when you think John Carpenter, you think Donald Pleasance quite a bit. Like,
Yeah, Donald Pleasance, Kurt Russell, sometimes Jamie Lee Curtis because she was in The Fog as well.
yeah, and then early stuff, Charles Cyphers,
Um, who
and then the
else?
guy that plays that
Keith David.
professor, yeah, Keith David. That's true too. What was and of course the one dude that played the other professor in this movie. He I think he's in the Mouth of Madness and a few other Carpenter movies, later Carpenter
He was
movies.
in this movie.
Yeah, the other professor.
Um.
You see if I can find him.
You talking about Victor Wong?
Not Victor Wong. So Victor Wong's the lead professor. They hired another
Mm-hmm.
professor. Let me see if I can find him. He got spit on. Okay, he got spit on before this. This guy right here.
That guy.
Yeah, he's the other professor. Those other students were his students, and he's in a whole bunch of stuff. According to what I read, he's in a whole bunch of other later Carpenters. This was his first Carpenter movie, and he's been a whole bunch after that, including in The Mouth of Madness. He might have been in Body Bags. It's been a while since. Have you ever seen Body Bags? His the
No,
anthological movie that he did.
I haven't seen that yet. I need to though. Um, but I don't remember him being in any other John Carpenter movies. I'll have to look that up because I don't remember him. I don't remember
Yeah.
him being in. Was it In the Mouth of Madness? But I don't remember a whole lot from that movie because I've really only seen it once. Um,
Now that we see Victor Wong again, what other movie I finally have to see after this that I still have not watched,
hmm.
to everybody's surprise. I still have to see Tremors.
What?
I have not seen Tremors.
You haven't seen? Oh my god,
Yeah,
dude!
I have not seen Tremors. You see, the thing is, I know what happens to him in Tremors, so it makes me I have to go watch Tremors now. So I
I
did
have
include a
the
clip from Tremors.
I have I have the 4K from Arrow, so it's a good movie. I'll need to rewatch it. It's a classic.
All right, it's probably another movie I probably want to cover at some point. So I'm definitely
That's
gonna check it out.
that is yeah, that is the best Kevin Bacon movie. I don't care what anyone says.
Even better than Friday the 13th. Even better than Friday the 13th, of course.
Yes, it's better than Friday the 13th. Absolutely.
Anything, a lot of things are better than Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th is my first Friday the 13th is one of my guilty pleasures right there.
Oh
So
yeah. I mean, the other well, the sequels after that, or at least most of them, are better than the first one, I'd say. But no, Tremors is arguably better than any of the Friday the 13th movies.
yeah, yeah. Peter Jason was in Prince of Darkness, They Live, and in the Mouth of Madness. Okay, there you go.
Oh, he was in They Live?
I think so. Body Bags ring a bell. What was that about? It was about like it was an anthological. It was an anthological movie. I remember it was on TV one day. Let me see if I can find what it was
Isn't
about.
it I know Shout or Scream Factory or whatever did a Blu-ray for that, but isn't that the movie where like some like horror directors make an appearance in the movie or something?
Yeah, so I don't think he directed. I don't think he directed the movie.
I know he's in it. I know that.
He directed one of the segments. So it's a horror comedy anthological television. It's pretty messed up. I remember watching it. There was one about here. There was one about gas station. There's one about that
So
takes place in a gas station.
yeah,
There's
so
one.
the segment he did or the segments is the gas station and hair. I'm looking up in IMDb, and Toby Hooper did the eye segment.
Yeah, the hair one I remember. The hair one was messed up. About it was about taking the uh, seeds of hair take over the bodies for consumption as part of the plant. It's ridiculous. I'm not going to even spoil it, but yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good movie, and John Carpenter plays himself. He's wearing like a whole bunch of makeup, and
Yeah,
he just looks effed up.
I saw an image of that. I guess Wes Craven and Sam Raimi are also in the movie.
Oh, are they? Okay, I'll have to check that
Yeah,
out then. So yeah, so there we go. So once again, I honestly, I like the film. I need to rewatch it just to take it all in again and just to enjoy the horror. They just the horror and especially the soundtrack. Soundtrack is once again, I know I've been repeating this quite a bit, but the soundtrack is such a big presence in this movie. Like it's for that reason I want to look up and see if John Carpenter is going to be performing live because I'd love to go see him perform all of his stuff live because he did that a few years ago.
yeah,
I
like a
regret missing it.
like a concert type thing. That'd be
Oh yeah,
awesome. Like
just hearing all of his classics: Halloween, Escape from New York, The
oh
Fog,
yeah,
everything. So
yeah, dude. If he does one in Chicago or whatever, like we gotta go.
oh,
Like
absolutely, I totally agree. Totally agree.
it's gotta happen.
Yeah.
Because I know he did one with was it his like family or whatever
Well,
his
his
son.
son's part of his band, Cody, his son that he
Yeah,
had with Adrian Barbeau, and then the son of the Kinks, one of the Kinks members, what's his name, Daniel Davies. He's the other one. He's those are the three that they are the ones that collaborate to write the music, especially for the new
Halloween.
Halloweens.
Yeah, I know, but I know like they did like a remaster of all of the scores for his movies, and they like was it well they did all of them. They did Halloween, they did Assault on Precinct 13. Have you seen that movie actually?
The original Assault on Precinct 13, yes, yes.
Okay, yeah.
There, let's just say that precedes Halloween by a couple years. There were shots
It
in that
does.
movie. There were shots in that movie that carried into Halloween because there's a moment where they knock a guy out. They knock one of the guys out on one of the criminals out on the lawn of the police department, and then they go in and they look back out and he's gone. The spot is gone. It just
Yeah.
made me think of Michael Myers. Like Michael
Yeah,
Myers gets shot out of the house. And
that's another very underrated John Carpenter movie.
yeah, it's one of those movies. It's like a zombie movie, but with gang members. It's basically a zombie movie with gang members.
I was gonna say like it feels like a George A. Romero movie,
Yeah,
but with like John Carpenter's spin on it. I liked it. I liked it like that. But Dan Blackwright says it's. I think it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's his son and his godson. That's a part of it.
yeah. Daniel Davies is his godson. So
But they did like a remaster of like all the scores. Like they played The Fog, they played Big Trouble, The Thing. They even played Starman, but he didn't do the score for Starman. It was someone else, but he directed it.
I still have to see Starman. So that's another thing.
Dude, it's probably my second favorite John Carpenter film.
Hey, here's a if you have something to listen to, there's John Carpenter's Lost Themes. That's an album that he did. That was a bunch of stuff that didn't make it into his movies. So
Mm,
I've listened to it like at the gym, and it's a really good listen. Like if you just love
I think
80s sounding horror music and everything, if you just
I
love
think
John Carpenter music in general, then that's definitely a listen.
I
Lost
might
Themes
have
1 and Lost Themes 2. There's two albums.
I may or may not have those in my cart for Scream Factory. Like the vinyl, I think. I don't know. I need to get that though.
I did not see the remake. My dad saw the remake actually. He really liked it, the one with Ethan Hawke. I didn't
And
even
Lawrence
realize like
Fishburne.
man, that came out like I think I was in high school when that one came out or college. I was in high school or college when that came out.
I
So
didn't
I
see
had
that
no
though.
idea that it was a remake of a John Carpenter movie. But then I saw like I was watching somebody was doing a review on Assault on Precinct 13, and I saw a clip of something going on, something that is very taboo to this day. Saw something happen. I was like, holy crap, I have to watch this movie now. And I think you might know what I'm talking about. They should kill a little girl, and they kill a young girl. So the same girl that plays Lindsay in Halloween is she's blonde and Salt on Precinct 13, and the gang member just goes up to her. She's like, "Hey, where's my ice cream?" The guy just takes out his gun and shoots her.
I remember seeing that, and I was just like, "Damn it, that is so fucked."
And
Like,
what starts the whole assault is because the father of the girl goes after them. He murders the dude. He murders that dude, and then the rest. And all of a sudden, the gang start the rest of the gang. So it's like a four like there's four leaders. It's like a four-part gang, a massive gang run by like there's the white, the blacks, the Hispanics, and the Asians, and they're a single evil gang. And when one of them goes and they all go to war again, they're all the entire gang goes after that father. The father stumbles into the precinct, and that's where the shit begins. Because the thing is precinct's understaffed because they're about to leave the place and move to another place, and they have no support. So only there's only like a couple of there's only like one or two there's only like one or two cops, and they need the help of the prisoners there. They need the help of the prisoners there in order to survive. So they have to work together. And I kind of like that little dynamic right there.
I got a question. Have you ever seen his Elvis movie with Kurt Russell? That was the first movie he did with him.
I did not. I have been meaning to. There's been so many like there's the new Elvis movie that came out recently with
I watched that. I
Austin
watched that.
Butler.
Yeah, I watched that last night. That actually wasn't too bad.
Okay, people I know have seen it and said it was really good. So there's that. Of course, then there's that. Then there's the John Carpenter one with Kurt Russell. I have to stuff to see that one.
And that was a TV movie.
I saw another. I saw another. I saw another Elvis movie on. I don't know if it was Hulu or Amazon or Netflix. It's Elvis meeting Nixon, and it was actually a good movie. I actually really enjoyed it. Like the movies from mostly Elvis's point of view and his staff, and they're trying really hard to get an appointment with Nixon. He just shows up at the White House and says, "Hey, I want to see President Nixon," and Nixon's like, "I don't want to see this guy. Why do I want to see this guy?" And they have to figure out how to get Nixon and him into the same room. So the staff, the Nixon staff, calls Nixon's daughter, and she calls him to say, "What the hell are you doing, Dad? Go
Oh, what was the
bring
movie?
Elvis in. He's the king."
What was the movie called? Do you know by any chance?
Elvis and Nixon. Elvis and Nixon. Elvis meeting Nixon.
Okay. Have you ever seen Bubba Hotep with Bruce Campbell?
No, I've heard. The name sounds familiar though.
Okay, so like, well, Bruce Campbell plays like a very old Elvis.
I
It's
got a
pretty.
super chat
It's
here.
pretty good.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Henry Lemoyne for super chat for 4.99. He's got the avatar of John Lennon. What's up, Nerdporial? It's me, Henry, from the Better Call Saul streams. I'd like to come up and talk with you about certain stuff again soon. All right. I don't know if you have social media. I don't know if you have Twitter or something. You could easily DM me on Twitter. I am at Nerdporial. I'm also on Instagram at Nerdporial Lifeform. So if you want to collaborate, let's do it. Absolutely. And Gwagnar agrees with you. He says Bubba Hotep is a great Elvis movie. So who's in that one again?
Bruce Campbell, Ozzie Davis. Those are the only two I know that are in the movie.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to check that out.
I'll be honest though, that movie starts off really freaking slow until like you get to the third act, and it's like it gets like really good after that. But Bruce Campbell is what really makes that movie watchable.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was listening to another Nerdrotic stream. I don't know if it was FNT or something, but he brought up he brought up a freaking or maybe it was the House of the Dragon stream. He brings up Ash versus the Evil Dead. He's like, for horror, that it's like Cobra Kai for horror. Like
Yep,
it's like the
that's
first season's perfect television.
that's what I've been saying too.
So
Like
it's something I definitely have to watch.
he
I,
he said that plenty of times. I even met some of the cast members.
who'd you meet? You meet Bruce Campbell?
No, I didn't meet Bruce Campbell because Bruce Campbell couldn't make it,
Okay.
sadly. But like I met the other two cast members, like the side characters in the show.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But yeah, well, have you seen the movie? You've seen the movies though, right?
I've seen the first two, and I still have yet to completely watch Army of Darkness.
Yeah, you gotta watch Army of Darkness and then watch Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
And yeah, I agree with Gary 100%. It is Cobra Kai. It is Cobra Kai before Cobra Kai. Because literally the show starts off with Ash. Same with how Cobra Kai starts off with Johnny.
Hard to go wrong with Bruce the Chin Campbell. Yeah, he was in a John Carpenter movie. He was in Escape from L.A.
Yeah,
He
that
was
was
barely
great.
used. He was
I
barely
know,
used in that movie.
I know that was freaking hilarious. Like that's the best you're gonna get for like a legit like Kurt Russell and Bruce Campbell movie. Were they in any other movie together? I don't know.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Because
I think Bruce
I
Campbell's he's been in every Sam Raimi movie. I know he's been in the Spider-Mans.
he's not in every Sam Raimi movie.
Oh, he's not?
No, he's in most of them. Like, have you ever seen The Quick and the Dead?
No, I haven't seen that.
He was supposed to be in that movie, but they cut him out of the movie completely. He was supposed to be the abusive husband of Sharon Stone's character, but they completely cut that whole thing out of the movie.
Oh, okay.
But it's a good movie. Gene Hackman's in it too.
Stan versus Evil is Evil Dead with Dr. Cox. Interesting. I've heard of that. I've heard of that show. Todd and Todd and the Book of Evil is another great series. Have you ever heard of these? I don't think I've heard of this one. I'll have to check it out. So, but yeah, I have to be on another stream. So
that's cool.
But
I better get going too.
Thank you guys for being here, Runner. Thanks for doing this with me. Where can they find you?
YouTube, Twitter, all that sort of stuff. I'm gonna be on Fanzine's channel tomorrow. So yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. I'm just okay. So Fanzine is a physical. Still talking about physical media.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Anything else? Nope. Okay.
Nah.
Cool. Me, I'm still working on there's so many things I want to do. Trying to think of my next serial horror chat episode, trying to contact people. If you are interested, if there's a horror movie you want to do with me, just hit me up and we can make it happen. So, but other than that, my current video project, which I've been really slow on, I should speed that up, is Original Planet of the Apes. And then started writing it, and hopefully I get down to recording myself, and then doing the video editing and getting that done. It's nowhere near as big as my last project. So, but that's other than that. If you watch House of the Dragon Sunday night, every Sunday right after the show, I do an after show with Salty Texas Sea, Prophet of the Dragon, and Pips from the White Cloak. So, yeah. So yeah, definitely check us out if you watch House of the Dragon. And other than that, everybody, take care, stay corporeal. And if you didn't see the opening, I'll show you the opening for Serial Horror Chat. If it doesn't creep you out, I don't know what will. Other than that, take it easy. We are approaching that time of year again. A time of great exhilaration. A time of great pleasure. A time of great fear. The darker sides of all crave that latter delight from themselves, but even more so from others. To satiate that hunger, our dark selves take note, interest, and entertainment in tales of the macabre that appeal to our deepest fears as only mortals face. The only way to achieve this is to begin the dark ritual where Nerdporial and a special guest will discuss a particular tale during this season to ward off pure evil, as well as to entertain and to educate. I humbly welcome you to the Serial Horror Chat.